Welcome back to Inside College Basketball Now with Jon Rothstein. Pleased to be joined by Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. And, Coach, welcome. Out of the gate, I'm curious, did you think, given your schedule, that a 19-2 start was possible given the losses of Jaden Akins and Jace Richardson?
Should I make it simple words? Hell no, I did not. Especially that early schedule, with Duke and Arkansas and Kentucky and North Carolina. And, then even some teams like in Oakland, who, is always good. So I was ecstatic that we survived that stretch with one loss. And then we early on got to Nebraska in the Big Ten schedule. And let me tell you, we played our butt off down there, and they won. And Fred has done an unbelievable job with them because but that just goes to show they've had some guys that have stuck around. They get Lawrence back after you've been there 2 years. Mm-hmm. And Sam Hoiberg, special dude, man. I bet he controls that locker room like no other.
49-9 over the last two seasons for Michigan State. How during this time have you brought this program back among the elite of the sport?
Well, the players have brought it back. I've just kind of steered the ship, but they have done an incredible job of sticking together. I think of all the things I'd say, I miss Jace Richardson. And, of course, Jaden. The one thing Jaden brought to this team is, I always said Jaden's got to get better defense. Jaden's got to get better this. I'd die to have Jaden back. Right. That's what coaches do. They don't appreciate their own players until they're gone. And I really appreciate both those guys. And I think in general, we've just stuck together. We've worked together. My staff has done a good job. We're still playing 9 and 10 guys. We're not wearing anybody out, but we're a little different than last year. More of the guys are around 20-some minutes now. We got maybe 29 and 18, but we are still getting players in there. It makes practices better. And I've been fortunate, John, that, the guys have stuck around. I mean, it's simple. I got 4 or 5 guys that have been through the wars, and they help direct the other guys.
And that, regardless of what era we're in, has always defined Michigan State, the continuity, the role allocation, the chemistry. And we saw that with last year's team that won the Big Ten and went to the Elite Eight and came up a little bit short against Auburn. But it got me thinking. Coaches have always told me in 20 years of doing this that the hardest game to win is in the Elite Eight because of what's at stake on the other side. You are 8-3 in the Elite Eight during your career, and the 3 losses have only been to teams that had great geographic advantages. Auburn last year in Atlanta, UConn in 2014 at Madison Square Garden, Texas in 2003 playing in its home state. Why do you think, as you reflect, you've been so good in the Elite Eight?
Well, I think I got good players, but I think I got tough players. And I think we've been a good, solid defensive team in rebounding, and that travels, so no matter where you are, it travels. I mean, last year, Auburn, an hour away, it was tough. When we played UConn that time, we were like a 2 or 3 seed. They were like a 7 seed. Yeah. But we were playing in their home. I mean, that's a better home when you look at what UConn's done in Madison Square Garden. And yet, you know what? They outplayed us too, so they deserve to win. But I just think that we've had success because we talk about the Elite Eight. We talk about Final Fours. I don't shy away from it. I mean, we talk about guys going pro. I mean, that's what you're going to college for. Get your degree, meet your team goals, meet your personal goals, and advance. And I think that's helped me, John, because it's talked about from the day they get here.
And it's easier to get there when you have a great point guard, and you have a great point guard this year in Jeremy Fears. And the highest compliment that you can give to any floor general at Michigan State is putting him in the same breath as Mateen Cleaves. Why has Jeremy Fears now put himself in a position to be mentioned with Cleaves, Cassius Winston, Kalen Lucas, etc.?
Well, the way it started is because in recruiting him, he had some of those characteristics: body type, toughness, aggressiveness, all the things he did. It's taken a little while. He had the injury, and it's taken a little while, and he's I think he's got one thing really left to do that maybe is the most important. Mateen had an unbelievable ability to drag people with him. Jeremy's got the passes, the assists. He's got those things. He's getting better with his shot. But that leadership skill that, some people lead by example and some people lead by bringing people with them. He's starting to lead more by example, meaning he's working harder doing this, and he's done a great job. Now he's got to, that's the thing him and I talk about the most. Can you continually to make people around you better than they actually are? Cleves was a master at it. He was the best I've ever been around. So when I say he's in those qualities, I mean, Kalen was great. And as you said, I've had some other good point guards. Cassius was different in a lot of ways, but phenomenal. A Tum Tum was different in a lot of ways, but phenomenal. To be great, you got to be able to defend it. You got to be able to pass it. You got to be able to score it. But when you're a point guard, you got to be able to lead at a level that's elite. You got to make people around you think they're better. And sometimes it's chewing them out, and sometimes it's hugging and kissing them. And the best ones, and Cleves was my best. He had the ability to know when to do what, including with me. And it was really special. So Jeremy's working towards that, though. That's what I like.
Well, and 26 years ago, it's hard to believe, in Indianapolis, where the Final Four is in a couple of months this year, Cleves brought with him Bell, Peterson, Granger, all those guys that beat Florida to win the national title in 2000. Who are the wild cards from your vantage point that Fears needs to bring with them here over the next couple of months?
Well, I think mostly it's our two guards. We've been struggling there a little bit. Cohen's getting better. Jackson Kohler has had a phenomenal year. In all honesty, Carson Cooper has been really good. Our two freshmen, I think Cam Ward and Jordan Scott are going to be really important, but it's those three guys, whether it be Devine, whether it be Kerr, whether it be Trey Ford, those three guys, we've got to get them better offensively and a little better defensively. They're working on it, but I think Jeremy's close with all three of them. Sometimes he's got to be more than close. He's got to demand from them, Confronting somebody is good. Demanding that they change is great, and he needs to do that. Along with myself, I got to do a better job too. If we do that, we're going to get a lot better.
And obviously, you're going to need to be at your best Friday night against Michigan. Your thoughts on the Wolverines?
I do think they're honestly the best team in our league. I think they're the best, maybe some of the best talent in the whole country. If you look at 8 players, I mean, they've got 2 guys coming off the bench that have started for either their program or other programs. They're getting a lot out of Axel. They're getting, a lot out of their point guard is playing better. But he's played in a lot of big games. We played against him at North Carolina. So, but they're bringing some guys off the bench like McKinney and different guys, Gale, that have been either superstars in high school or started on other college teams. So I think they're the best team. I think we'll have to play our best to beat them. They struggled a little bit lately. I guess for them, we've struggled a little bit in our last game, so I think we're both got a lot to prove, and yet we'll have to be at our best. I mean, that is, I think, the most talented and the best team in the Big Ten, and maybe one of the best in the country.
Tom, let's wrap on this. A couple of years ago, you guys lost to North Carolina in the round of 32, and in the post game, you said defiantly, "I'm going to go on a deeper run in this tournament, or I'm going to die trying." A year later, you come to the cusp of the Final Four. As we said, you came up just short against Auburn. Because you got to that point last year, and I know you're as motivated as anybody that's ever done this, are you hungrier than you've ever been to get back to another Final Four?
Well, I definitely am. I don't want to define my success or my teams on just getting to a Final Four. That's putting a lot of pressure on. But I think you're talking in reality. There's a couple of things about it. Number one, you only have so many chances. Number two, as you get older, you have less chances. But number three is we've kind of got this team that has been there before. We got 4 or 5 guys that have been there. We're not the most talented team I've had or that is out there. but we are one of the most together teams. And I've said that now for 2 straight years. And that reminds me of the Cleves team.
Mm-hmm.
And they were together because of him. And that's why I'm constantly on Jeremy, my staff. We got to keep bonding together. But there's going to be some losses in the Big Ten, I think, for more than just Michigan State. When you look at the schedule, a lot of us have in this last 10 games, it's a gauntlet, you know. And when 3 plays 7, or 2 plays 10, or 5 plays 12, somebody's got to lose. So someone's going to lose. How you handle losses and defeat in this day and age where we're not allowed to fail is going to be a big thing. So I talk to my guys a lot about that too, in a little bit of a preventative management way, because I think we've got a lot of things ahead of us, and starts tomorrow night, but it sure as hell doesn't end tomorrow night. There's a lot of basketball left, John, a lot of basketball.
And we look forward to covering it. Coach, appreciate a couple of minutes. Know how busy you are. All the best this weekend. And as always, look forward to staying connected along the way.
John, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot, man.
You guys, Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. I'm Jon Rothstein, and this is Inside College Basketball Now.